another game where you hope that the West Indies would do well, because it's always great fun watching them play. But I'm afraid it's been another disappointing performance. India win the series again. That's 8 in a row now. But you look back at the series and say, did we have competition? Did people come hard at us? And I'm afraid the answer is no. 71 is a very, very big margin in a T20 game. Zaheer Khan is here, Ajay, Jadeja is here. Do you think it would be as one-sided as this? I mean, I know there was no Andre Russell, there was no Sunil Narine, there was none of the big players, but you always expect something from the West Indies.
Yes, in white ball cricket especially,
yes.
you expect that there will be some kind of a competition. We were not expecting that much in ODIs, but we saw a good competition. But I think, the last two ODIs just kind of has set the tone, and
now
just,
that they've
just kind of filtering, the lethargy, the confidence of a team that they can win a match is taken a big hit. I feel that looking at the last two games, and when you look at the Indian team, I think they're getting better and better. So you look at the Eden's game, where the batting was maybe a touch disappointing to start with. A good bowling performance by Windies bowlers, but that's one area Indian team would have liked to better, and they proved it today. I think the start was solid. You had a great platform at halfway mark of the innings with 83 runs, no loss. So that's something which was really good, and then to have such a target and win the bowling card, I think it's also gotten better than the last game. So that's just on this track, it's great.
I'm just looking at that bowling card. I mean, the general impression was, is Bhuvi ready? Is Bhuvi there? He's finished 4 overs, 2 for 12. Now the figures are telling you one story, but your trained eye is telling you another story about Bhuvneshwar Kumar. But Khalil Ahmed, what he's done for his captain is he's given 3 up at the start. And that's taken a lot of pressure away from Bhuvneshwar and Bumrah. He's allowed the captain to use them later. So that's a big call. If your quick bowler can give you 3 up front, and then Krunal Pandya and Kuldeep Yadav, I mean, of those 32, 19 or 20 came in the last over. But Bhuvneshwar 2 for 12. You look at those numbers and you say, yeah, but you thought there was something missing.
I mean, what is missing is that swing that we associate Bhuvneshwar Kumar with. I mean, he's smart. He uses the situation pretty well. First over was pretty okay, and then the second over Khalil got a couple of wickets, so it became, and then he's a sensible bowler. He's not going to give anything away. So if the situation is perfect, it's all going right. But that movement that he gets in the air, which is what is something that you don't see. But look at those numbers, 12 or 4 overs. There's nothing wrong with it.
It just tells you he's a clever cricketer.
Yeah, he's a smart cricketer. But that movement is something that I haven't seen, not just this game, but the last few games. That's something that's missing, and that's been his strength. So I'm just seeing that. I mean, I'm just saying what I see.
I mean, the West Indies never really put up a fight, did they? I mean, in the first game, they opened with Shea Hope and Dinesh Ramdin. Today, they opened with Hetmeyer. Bravo came in at 3. Pollard from 4 went down to 6. They're trying combinations, but deep down, do you think they believe they can win? Because I never saw any intent. I never saw, come, let's go and win this game.
When you talk about Windies and you look at this year, even though they've won two ICC World T20 Championships, this year particularly they've managed to win only 2 games out of 11 games. I think they've played. So that's something tells a story. It's again a bit of a transition phase which Windies T20 team is going through, and they're still figuring out roles and responsibilities of the player. Once again, we've seen Hetmeyer having a good series in one-day internationals, and that's something which kind of gave them the freedom to experiment, with him opening the innings. You've seen Shea Hope, who was not part of the T20 side, playing in both the matches. Ramdin is someone who has been
around for a long time,
regular fixture, has retained his place, but looks like Shea Hope is putting that pressure on Ramdin as well. But all in all, we do get a feeling that the thinking is cluttered, and they're still figuring out what's the right kind of combination going forward.
I was quite looking forward to Shimron Hetmeyer, I must admit, in the T20 game, but ever since those first 3 one-days where he batted really well, 2 one-days, 2 T20s, that's 4 failures, so he's just fallen off as well. On the Indian bowling as well, I mean, I know there wasn't much in terms of opposition, but the one bowler you want to look at was Krunal Pandya, because we hadn't seen him before. And he did what today? 4 overs, none for 23. Good steady 4 overs in between, under 6 and over.
That's him. He's a steady
There you
bowler.
go, yeah. Did he bowl quicker? He was quicker and flatter.
He bowls different speeds depending on the batsman and the situation of the game. That's the smartness that he has. He doesn't have that ability to toss the ball or spin it or disguise.
They're all like that, aren't they, these days?
And he, the strength that I see with him is he understands the situation of the game and he understands the batsman. So yesterday we saw when Pollard was in, he was all down his leg side, trying to give him a single or not let him pick anything from his arc. So things like that he's very smart with, and a situation like this where there's wickets have fallen, he was slower and then he knows when to just give that single away and get that.
Will you ever see that kind of left arm finger spinner in the T20 game again?
Well, if there is,
they're all just banging it in,
if
right?
there is one who can do it, he will do it, because you're seeing it the other way.
Kuldeep is bowling, but
so with that, what happens is what happened in that last over. So he'll never be 25, 35, going every single, 5 singles and over. So either it'll be a dot ball or you'll be hit out of the ground for a 6. So if somebody has that ability and has that heart to actually bowl it that way, he can still bowl. I mean, the game hasn't changed. It's still 22 yards. If somebody could dip it from there, there will be.
I'm glad
people.
you used that word dip, because a lot of people will be watching and saying, what are these guys talking this about? That is when the ball will dip onto the batsmen. So, yeah. Do you see any changes now? I mean, this series is done and dusted, 2-0. It's been terribly one-sided. It's not been great to watch. So what do India do now? Do you say, right, we won the series. There's some guys who've got to go to New Zealand. Rohit Sharma's got to go and play in New Zealand. Let's rest people. Let's give someone else a go. Chahal needs a game.
I don't see changes happening, I think, in the Indian side, and the reason for that is Khalil is someone who would want him to play and get more and more experience at this level. The only change probably which you'll be seeing is KL Rahul opening the innings. That's something maybe within the playing 11 you might see that change, because now you're in that position. The series is done and dusted. You would probably want to give him that opportunity. Today he made use of the opportunity which he got in the back end of the innings. But this is the right opportunity to experiment with him opening the innings. Maybe Rohit might bat at number 3, because Shikhar also is someone who needs confidence. He's got some runs today, so you would want him to try and get some more confidence. Yeah. But apart from that, I don't see any changes.
It's a tricky one for Rohit Sharma. He's not played red ball cricket so far. He's playing only white ball cricket. He's suddenly got to go to New Zealand, play a 4-day game and prove to people that he's good enough at red ball cricket to play the test matches in Australia, then pop across and play 3 white ball games before he goes back to red ball cricket.
Yeah, but if you're going to look at Rohit Sharma after 10, 12 years of international cricket and say
one game, T20, sorry.
So I'm saying one game is going to decide in New Zealand, that 4-day game, that if you score there, then you play test matches. I think players like this, either you can make a call. You either want them or you don't want them. A game should not be one game should not be. Yes, I can understand. You've decided to play him, then he must go. Then he must leave and go and play and get practice, or get used to that form of it. But if he's on a trial there, then I think we've got more worries than
I think that game's on the 16th.
Yeah.
So 16, 17, 18, 19.
Yeah.
Then he flies across. It's not as short a flight as people think. It's not that New Zealand is next door.
Yeah.
It's a good 3-4 hour flight.
Exactly.
He's got to pop across. So he comes on the 20th. 21st he's playing a T20 game in Brisbane. And he's not even flying to Sydney. Brisbane is further in. So he goes.
He might miss a T20 international
there
to get because it's pretty hard otherwise. Like I think the travel does make you tired and takes that energy out, and also the distance. It's not the game is not played in Australia. So that's something which is very tough to get your head around, that what exactly is the thought process behind this.
Because the last test match India played, you had a young man from India, Vihari, who did fairly well, or not saying that he's a certainty or not. On that trip, you didn't send Rohit Sharma. The series before that, Rohit Sharma was picked for test matches, played a few games. Just when he was looking good, 40, 45, highest scorer in South Africa, then you leave him out for the next tour. So, what is that one game going to do now? So, if you've now decided, Vihari is not good enough, because the other are quite certain. I mean, the top 4-5 players who play for...
So, it's probably Vihari or Rohit for the 6th.
So I'm saying, if it was a worry that you didn't have anybody, then you would go back to him. So it's very difficult. Like Zach says, it's impossible to understand what the thought process
And
is.
both of you have played in New Zealand. Those tracks are not like the Aussie tracks.
Totally different from.
So he's
the
going to
tracks in
go
Australia.
from Indian T20, from an India T20 game to play a 4-day game in New Zealand, red ball, it'll seam around a little bit, take a flight, get up next morning and play on a nice Brisbane bouncy white track with a white ball.
I'm sure there must be a practice game before the first
There is another
test.
4-day, there's another game in between. So
Yeah,
maybe
so
Rohit could have played.
if one game is going to make the difference, then that can be that game which is after the T20 internationals, where you just get your head around the longer format of cricket and continue with that. Here, I think the stop and change is going to be.
But you still play Rohit in the last T20 here in Chennai.
Absolutely.
You would,
I think,
okay.
yeah. That's why I'm saying that there will not be any changes. You know, he's captaining the side as well. He would want a good result. A 3-0 whitewash will always be special for anyone, and that's something which he wouldn't want to miss as well.
So there'll be no game for Shreyas Iyer, no game for Manish Pandey. They're sitting here in the reserves as they have done for a long part of their careers. They might as well have gone on and played for Mumbai or Karnataka.
Yeah, you picked 16, so I mean, you picked a lot of young guys in there, or first timers, including Shahbaz Nadeem, who's in place of Virat, which is another thought that I cannot get around. But maybe you have an opportunity to play a few guys, maybe see what happens if you play without Bumrah and Kuldeep. So maybe have a different bowling option. Because with batsmen,
So get Umesh and Chahal?
or whoever, I'm saying if they were looking to build a side and find those backup that we keep hearing sometimes, because 2020 cricket you put 16 players, there must be a thought, or maybe play a different batting order, like he said. Push yourself a little more to get better, because the way West Indies is playing, they might turn around. In this especially 2020 format, one of them may have a great day, say Hitmyer or Pollard, or somebody can take a game away from you. Even if you have these best 5 bowlers, that can happen. But if there is an opportunity here to build your side, if you're looking at future and thinking of, then give those guys an opportunity and see what they do.
What do the West Indies do for 4 days now? They're just sitting around for 4 days. They don't have a Diwali to celebrate. What are they doing for 4 days?
I think they should make it a point that enjoy Diwali, because that's something which you can do just to get out of a zone. It's at time important that you switch off. So you enjoy the Indian culture, how the celebration, the festivities which go around, and just freshen up your mind and go out there and express yourself. That's the best you can do in this scenario, because the series is already done and dusted.
True.
So all you can do is just go out and try and find what is the right kind of mindset to go on the ground with, and just express yourself freely.
Shea Hope came into the side in place of Russell, right?
Because of Andre Russell,
right? So if a Russell was there, who was going to open? Because Hope suddenly opened. So
I don't know.
It's the same with most of these teams. It's
maybe
very,
Darren Bravo would have gone and opened.
So,
I don't know.
So I'm saying it is very difficult to understand, because somebody walked in at 4, Pollard walked in at 4. Last game today you had Bravo, Ramdin. So they looked a confused side as well. I mean, it's not that they are building a side and saying, okay, we're not winning many games, let's work on the future of this team, try out players. It's not even that. It's old players coming back, playing at different places.
Now, if you saw our little 10 overs program, where the program after 10 overs, Uber presents Cricbuzz Combox, Ajay Jadeja was making the point there about how when you're batting well, you field well too. What happened today with Rohit Sharma? He could have gone and stood in the stands and the ball would have come to him. Wherever he went, the ball with Rohit Sharma, wherever he went, the ball came to him. But how good was the slip catch for a start? That was special. But a couple of other good catches as well.
Yeah, and slip catch is not easy when it comes off the back foot, because what have you got? 4 meters from where the bat is.
A proper slash as
so
well.
if you go forward, then you have another couple of meters. So it's almost 50% of distance is less.
Also,
so
when you're going forward, you're not hitting the ball as hard. Back foot, you're hitting it harder.
So the reaction time is less, and that was a great catch. And Rohit reminds me a lot of Dada. If you see when he's captain, he's in the game. You see him on the screen all the time. When he's not the captain, then he's not around in that midfield. He's somewhere in some corner, and he has the ability. He's actually an outstanding fielder.
So breaking news tomorrow. Ajay Jadeja says when Saurav Ganguly was not interested, he would not be in the side.
No, not interested.
No, I was just pretending to be a news channel.
No, 2 people. I'll give you another example. And our producer would be very happy. It's all got to do with KKR. Both their captains. When they are captain, you will see them so involved in the game. They are right where the ball's going. and they're part of the game. But if they're not captains, they're at third man. They remind, Sherry was another one who would be at third man, fine leg, and they're thinking about their game and just to score runs.
Yeah.
So Rohit Sharma, it's nice to see because he is an outstanding fielder. He is a brilliant fielder. He's always been a good fielder. But sometimes when he's not the captain, he's somewhere, loitering around.
The thing which I remember when you talk about Rohit Sharma's fielding is that 2007 T20 World Cup run out, which he had got with brilliant from coming from cover point and taking the run out, direct hit. So that's something which stands out. So he's a very natural fielder. And
so producer's telling me Justin Kemp Durban. We've got a producer here, by the way. His name is Abhideep. Now you tell him, Abhideep, what happened at 17:22 hours on the 3rd of November 1998, and tell us what it led to. What happened in the 3 balls after that? It'll come in your ear.
Yeah, Dada got 100.
Justin Kemp Durban. Dada got 100, and he went from 96 to 100 with a square cut that went 2 yards to the left of the field at point. Anyway,
we are blessed. We are blessed to have a producer who's actually interested in the sport.
Okay, there we go. So that's what we think. Not a lot of changes going ahead in the last game. The West Indies have 4 days to look at India. I guess some of the players would go home, enjoy Diwali. Ajay, Jadeja will enjoy Diwali. I will enjoy Diwali. Zach will be getting ready to get back, making a new poster of Zach is back at the nets and trying to get. Is the ball swinging?
Yeah. The ball still swings.
It will swing in 80 years old, right? Just come out of the hand
speed and the follow through and the recovery after that is something which always worries me.
If you're wondering why I'm saying Zach is back, he's playing the T10. So it's okay. One day it'll be the T4 as well. We'll wait and see. So thank you very much.
Shorter the format, better the recovery, better it is to deal with.
And don't have to bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to bat. So there you go. Before we say goodbye to Zach and to Ajay, we've got the joy factor for you. It was a tricky one today, or so I thought. And then I've got this habit, I quickly get on to the Twitter feed to see, and there were the answers straight away. So here was a question for you in case you didn't watch it in the morning. This was the question. What is the highest one-day international score that 3 Indians have hit, but no other country's cricketer has managed? It's a score that 3 Indians have managed, but no other international cricketer has managed. It's a slightly tricky one. It's a score that has a big part of Indian history, because not only is 183 what Ganguly, Dhoni and Kohli scored, it's also what the West Indies scored when they lost that
World Cup.
India scored when West Indies couldn't get there. 183 was India scored, and this is what Ganguly, Dhoni and Kohli scored. So they all went on to become captains as well, and Dhoni's score was on the eve of Diwali 2005, 183. What a Dhoni that was! Long hair, pulling the ball was a completely different Dhoni. Who came first rather, because we're still trying to think of what Ajay Jadeja is going to give him as a prize, and it goes to no prize, so we're lucky. Crick Rohit, I've got a sad announcement for you, which is that we are now installing a software that blocks you from answering questions.
Oh, we need to get a seat next to us for him.
Yeah,
because he seems to know all the answers as well. Why not get another seat and get one of them to come in?
So that when the shot's on Zach, Ajay will be quickly asking him a few more questions. But there you are. Reason we were chatting around all this and chatting about cricket and bringing it to you was there wasn't a lot to talk about the game. The West Indies were disappointing. I hoped that there'd be a little bit more. I hope there'll be a little bit more in Chennai as well. So thank you, Zach. Thank you, Ajay.
Thank you.
And for all of you, I hope you have a lovely festive time. Lots of light, maybe a little less of sound, lots of color, and have a lovely Deepavali. So thank you very much. We'll be back on Cricbuzz Live on the 11th of November at 6:30. So see you then.